you have just joined us, this is Asia Confidential. For those of you familiar with Asia Confidential, this guy clowning around is no stranger, apart from getting up to no good in the fragrant harbor city of Hong Kong when he was there some weeks back. Comedian and inspirational comedy teacher Anand Chulani was also illustrating the importance of not taking yourself too seriously, especially in high-stress cities in Asia like Hong Kong and here in Singapore, as well as Japan. Getting in touch with a child in you every now and then is probably a good survival skill in the big bad world. And that's what we'll be talking about today. Anand Chulani has written for The Simpsons, toured with the likes of Russell Peters and Martin Lawrence, and worked with peak performance coach Anthony Robbins. He's joining us once again from LA today to talk about ways to break your stress patterns and crank up your EQ. So Anand, what are we talking about here? Something to do with talk gibberish. Tell us more.
How are you doing? Well, first of all, I think most people, especially adults, take themselves way too seriously. Dr. William Fry of Stanford University said that the average adult laughs 17 times a day. The average kid, 400 times a day. But we've lost touch with our ability to be childlike, not childish, but childlike. And I think that's where there's so much conflict. I mean, I work with so many CEOs and coaching them and managers on resolving conflict. And a lot of the time, it comes from not having emotional intelligence. We're so focused on words, but words are just 7% of communication. And a great tool to kind of help resolve conflict that I've worked with CEOs, like I said, at our company, LOL World, which is lolworld.net, is working a tool I call Gibberish. And what Gibberish is speaking a made-up language. So it's like, right? So he's speaking a made-up language, and I know that's not President Bush speaking, that's just a made-up language. That's just a made-up language, and what it does
I have to jump in here, though. Talk gibberish, and you run the risk of people not taking you seriously, yeah? I mean, you laugh a lot, people think you're crazy.
Well, most of us adults are conditioned to think we need to be serious. If we're joking around, that's not being serious. That's not being businesslike. That's not being professional. Well, the whole thing is, in a business term, you want to get your outcome, right? And if you're in a stressed out state, I work with hostage negotiators, the #1 hostage negotiator in the world. And I go there, and there's a conference of all these hostage negotiators, and this guy says to me, "Why do I need this gibberish? How is it going to help me resolve conflict?" I said, "Sir, let me ask you a question. What's the craziest thing you've done in your day?" He goes, "I've shot someone." I said, "Okay, that's pretty stressful." He goes, I said, 1 to 10, how stressful? 10. I said, "Great." I said, "Are you in a relationship?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Let me ask you a question. In that state of stress, are you more likely or less likely to get into an argument with your wife when you go home?" And he goes, So I taught him this tool, Gibberish, and I taught him as a way of really for two things. One, getting your own stress patterns out. So if you're stressed out about your day, just getting it out there, expunging your stress in a way that you don't carry that intensity home with you. And B, what it does also is it allows the other person to really develop emotional intelligence, to really understand what you mean behind those words, to really get a sense of what's really being communicated, what's really at the core of it. And it's incredible. I mean, with these hostage negotiators, like I said, I work with them, and I'm now going to work with their entire base because it's worked. At the end of the seminar, the guy goes, "I've got one thing to say to you." I'm like, "Okay." He goes, and he wasn't flipping me off, so it's all good. But like I said, the most important thing is, breaking a stress pattern, developing emotional intelligence. I did a gig in Hong Kong with you guys. I went to the Ronald McDonald House for sick kids. And I was told to be a translator. I get there, no translator. I've got 40 adults and 40 kids. I do the entire workshop in gibberish for 2 hours. I made them speak gibberish. I spoke gibberish. At the end, a translator came right at the end. And they asked the kids, "What did you learn today? What did you learn?" A kid says, a 4-year-old kid says, "Today I learned the most important thing is to listen. The most important thing is to take care of others. The most important thing is to not hurt others." I never even used those words once, but he got the intention coming from a place of gibberish.
Okay, Anand, hang tight. I know you went out there, and you're going to show us what went on.
Yes. I went on the streets of Hong Kong, and we did gibberish with some people, and it was really great to see the way at 5 o'clock at rush hour in Central, how people responded to gibberish. Let's see it. It takes 1 second of your time. Even 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Come on, man. You never know you're missing. Let's chess. For your friend?
Yeah, Bubba.
Bubba. His name's Bubba too. It's good. Showers of
Oh, yeah.
He's a Have you met my friend Zilba?
Hey, you surprised with the response you got on the streets of Hong Kong?
Yes, it was quite impressive. But it was great to see where the kids responded, the way the adults responded. I mean, the kids, like Dr. Franzini at the University of Pittsburgh said that gibberish and kind of getting that emotion, that right brain kind of thinking helps a child develop emotional intelligence so they get a greater sense of appreciation of how others feel. And whether it be children or whether it be business context, we can't influence anyone that we don't understand or appreciate. Never. I mean, I've done this with CEOs. What we did is I taught them this gibberish tool. I had a CEO brought me into his company recently in Hong Kong, and I had people there from Singapore, China, England, Australia, different languages. But when we kind of broke it down and created what I call an ego equalizer, it kind of just leveled the playing field, and so everyone was really able to kind of express what they really felt and resolve conflict without being aggressive. Yes?
I'm going to bring in Stephen at this point in time.
No, I've got a quick question. Most CEOs and investment professionals that I know talk gibberish all the time. Trouble is, it's unintentional. So what advice have you got for that?
First of all, come to my workshop at lolworld.net. Second, the most important thing is really to understand your intention behind it. Because, like I said, you can just use words, but I think being clear on what you really want. You know, most people are focused on their to-do list instead of what they really want. So whether you're speaking gibberish or speaking Chinese or another different language, whatever it is, know what you want and get it.
Anand, thank you so much for that.